I used to think moving into a nursing home would be a wise, even brave, decision. At 70, I believed I was simply being practical, choosing safety, convenience, and community over isolation. But I didn't expect the quiet ache that would follow. This is the story of how I went from feeling confident in my choice to realizing I may have given up something far more valuable than comfort, my sense of self. And maybe, if you're nearing this stage of life, or know someone who is, my story will help you think twice before making the same decision too soon. I never imagined that at 70, I'd be sitting by a window, watching the wind play with the leaves, feeling more alone than I ever did in my younger years. I moved into the nursing home just 1 month ago. A decision made not out of necessity, but out of fear. Fear of becoming a burden to my children, of falling and having no one around, of silence stretching too long between knocks on the door. But I didn't know that in choosing safety, I'd be trading away something far more vital, my sense of belonging. I remember the day I arrived. The sky was overcast, and everything felt muted, like the world was holding its breath. My daughter, Anna, helped me unpack. She placed framed photographs of my late husband on the shelf, smoothed out the bedspread, and tried to make the room feel like home. But it didn't. It felt like a hotel room where time stood still. The first few nights, I couldn't sleep. It wasn't the mattress or the ambient sounds of distant televisions and creaking wheelchairs. It was the unfamiliarity. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, trying to reconcile that this sterile, pale room was now mine. I had left behind the house where every corner echoed with memories of birthdays, Sunday lunches, laughter, arguments, life. Mornings here begin early. Too early. A nurse knocks gently on the door around 6:30, cheerful but efficient. "Time for breakfast, Mr. Harper." I sit up, groggy, unsure whether I'm hungry or just following routine. The food is warm but flavorless. Scrambled eggs that taste like air, toast without butter. Everything feels like it's been watered down. Meals, conversation, even time. There are many others like me here. Some smile, some don't. We nod to each other in hallways, sometimes exchange a word or two. We gather in the common area after breakfast. Chairs line the walls, wheelchairs form quiet clusters. The television plays old game shows on low volume. A woman named Evelyn often sits next to me. Her hands are always cold. She lost her husband last year. We don't talk much, but we sit together. It's a silent companionship. What I miss most isn't activity, it's agency. Back home, I used to open the windows when I wanted, cook when I pleased, take walks in the garden. Here, even walks require signing a sheet and informing someone. I'm grateful they care about our safety, but I didn't realize how much I'd miss simple freedom. Freedom to be alone. Freedom to choose silence or noise. Freedom to live by my own rhythm. One evening, I overheard a conversation between two nurses. They were talking about room 27, referring to me as he, instead of using my name. He was confused about his meds again. I wanted to shout, "I'm not confused, I just forgot if I took the second pill." But I didn't. I swallowed the humiliation. It's subtle, this slow erasing of your identity. You start becoming a case file, not a person. My daughter visits on Sundays. She brings fresh fruit, sometimes a newspaper. We sit in the courtyard and talk. I try not to burden her with my sadness. I nod when she asks if I'm settling in. I smile when she says the staff is nice. I pretend to be adjusting because I don't want her to worry. But deep down, I feel I've been put on a shelf. There are moments of brightness. One afternoon, a volunteer brought her dog, a golden retriever named Max. He laid his head on my knee, and for a moment, I felt truly seen. Another day, a young caregiver named Louise asked me about my woodworking. I hadn't talked about that hobby in years. We spoke for half an hour, and when he left, I cried, not out of sadness, but out of relief that someone saw me, not just another old man in a chair. Still, those moments are rare. At night, I stare out the small window near my bed. I think about the home I left behind, the creaking floorboards, the kitchen table with one chair slightly shorter than the rest, the smell of my late wife's perfume still lingering on her old scarves. That house wasn't perfect, but it was mine. It was memory-filled, imperfectly beautiful, alive. Here, everything is designed to be neutral, easy to clean, unemotional. But people, especially older people, are not neutral. We're full of stories, of scars, of stubborn habits and longings. We need more than scheduled meals and safety rails. We need to feel useful, heard, alive. If I could go back, I would have fought harder to stay at home. I would have asked for help when I needed it. Maybe hired a part-time caregiver. Maybe leaned on my children a bit more. I thought coming here was the noble thing to do, to give my family peace of mind. But I didn't realize I was sacrificing my own. This place isn't terrible. The staff is kind. The walls are clean. But it's not home. It's a waiting room where the clock ticks louder each day. And I've realized that what we old folks need most is not just a place to stay, but a place to live. I regret moving into a nursing home. Not because of the people here, but because in trying to make things easier for others, I made things harder for myself. I traded in my independence, my stories, my morning coffee in the backyard, for routine, for safety, for stillness. And now, each night as I sit alone, I wonder, not with anger, but with quiet ache, was this really the right choice?